Hi, my name is Maddi Pond, and I am the proud owner of Amp It Up Dance Studio in Salisbury, New Brunswick. So, a little bit of background on the company and myself. I started teaching dance at the age of 14, doing summer dance camp in Salisbury, New Brunswick. But I also was on a competitive dance team from 8 till I graduated. It wasn't until my teenage years, however, though, that I realized the issues surrounding dance and body confidence. Something that is interesting is that dance and gymnastics are the only two sports that actually negatively impact young individuals' body confidence. So I knew this was an issue I wanted to tackle once I hit university. So I wanted to do this by having a studio that is all inclusive, that has no height or weight requirements, but also does not require any gender specification. Because a lot of people see it as an external issue, but usually for this age, it's also internally frustrating for them as well. So we do this by using open pronouns until they specify. Also, they get a choice of costuming, and they get separate and private changing areas to use at their convenience. So I took this idea to Matt Allison's pitch board in January of 2019. And in March of 2019, I was awarded the Reisman Grant, which is a grant given to individuals who want to start up a business but need the funding but don't want to give up a portion of their business as well. So I still have 100% ownership of my company, but it just provided me the funding and mentoring that I needed to get it started quickly. So one thing that's interesting about my dance studio is we opened 2 months after receiving the grant. So it was very, very quick. And we opened in May of 2019, and I couldn't have done that without all the help that I'm still getting today from Matt Allison. So the first thing that we need to decide is where my first location was going to be. And it was a no-brainer that I would go back to the small town of Salisbury because I knew that there was some issues that I wanted to resolve besides the body confidence issue that dance surrounds. So the issues were lack of arts programs, lack of after-school activities, and also the lack of jobs for high school students. So we decided to tackle these by making it open to all ages and also provide a walking program from all three schools. So that's elementary, middle, and high school. And we also have classes for kids directly after school, so it can be an alternative to daycare. But the thing that I'm the most proud of is that we really focused on the lack of jobs for high school students. So we do this by employing only students as our employee base, and they go through a mentorship program. So at the age of 12, they start shadowing me in classes or another teacher that is over 16, and this begins their training. And then they go through the mentorship program when they are 14 and they are given their own class. And then we give them bi-weekly check-ins and also question and answer sessions and different workshops that we think could help them in the classroom so that we're maintaining the standard of teaching we still want to provide. And the thing that I'm very excited about is this summer we're starting leadership camps, which are open to all individuals in the community between 12 and 17. And it's giving them leadership skills from myself, but also other contributors in the community to make sure that they can take these skills outside of the studio and become productive leadership members in the society as well. So talking about our demographic a little bit, the main one would be after school programs. So that's anyone between 5 and 17 years old. And this is over 70% of our registrations. It's also where we see the biggest growth rate, which is 68% in just 8 months, which is large. And they make up a good chunk of our production and competition teams. So they go out into the community a lot and do a lot of our kind of advertising for us. But one piece of the demographic that is often left behind, but we really focus on, is toddler programs. So we actually start 6 months younger than our competitors, which is because we want to get them in the door first because of our very high return rate. So we have a 97% return rate across the board, which is extremely high for dance studios or any sports team. So basically, we're almost guaranteed that they will come back and we have them for another 15 years if they start at the age of 2. The next thing I want to talk about is our off season. So one thing for sports teams is there's usually a very large off season, but we've actually eliminated ours completely. So we have the fall, winter, and spring registration periods like every other dance studio, but we also have taken our off season and flipped it, and it's actually when we get the most newcomers, which is in the summer camp season. So we do summer camps. Now we have our leadership training, and we also do regular classes as well. So we never have an off season. One of the last things I wanted to touch on is what we've been doing during the COVID pandemic, because that's something that has really set back a lot of sports teams. But I'm very proud to announce that only 2 weeks after we had to close our doors, we went completely virtual. So every dancer has at least one class they can do online. Some have 4 or 5. And we've really flipped it so it's a way of getting new dancers to come into the studio. And we're actually not losing any dancers, which is great. And it also taught me how to be adaptable in my first year of business, which I think is a very important lesson. So the last thing I want to talk about is just my future plans. So short term, since we're so new, I just want to keep growing it and keep spreading our message in our community and maintain a large presence in our community as well. Also, I want to expand our teaching staff because that's something we've been really focused on through our mentorship program. And long term, I want to open in another rural town and spread our message to other communities, which is we want to provide body confidence boosting, but also give them the leadership skills to go out into the community and back it up. So I appreciate you guys listening to my story and my business and my future plans. So thank you.